right, get ready, because it's this deep dive you sent in. This is, wow, this is a wild one.
Yeah.
We're going to try and unpack the story of Frederick Rutland,
Fascinating guy.
a British war hero
Mm-hmm.
who ends up, get this, spying for Japan.
I know. It's incredible.
We've got like a whole stack of stuff here. Podcast episodes, book excerpts, even like some declassified FBI files on this guy. This is going to be quite a ride.
Yeah, it really is. And what gets me right away is how Rutland's life just like slams right into all these major historical moments.
Oh, yeah.
You know, like the whole rise of naval aviation,
Right.
the super shadowy world of, espionage,
Espionage, yeah.
and even like Hollywood in its golden age.
Oh, yeah.
All there.
So it's like early 20th century, right? Just after World War I.
Right.
Rutland, he's already a decorated pilot.
Oh, yeah.
He was a crucial part of the Battle of Jutland.
Huge naval battle.
One of the biggest, yeah.
Yeah.
And he was the first, ever to use an aircraft for reconnaissance
Wow.
in battle.
Yeah.
Like sending vital intel back to the British fleet using Morse code.
I mean, dots and dashes, right?
Yeah, dots and dashes for letters and numbers. Can you imagine the pressure of that?
Oh, man. Absolutely. I mean, just incredible.
Yeah.
And, doing that, it got him the Distinguished Service Cross for gallantry.
Right.
But it wasn't just being brave that made him stand out.
Right.
Rutland, he really had this vision
Okay.
for how airplanes could just totally revolutionize, naval warfare.
He was ahead of his time.
Oh, yeah.
Really saw the potential in a way that, almost nobody else did.
Yeah, absolutely.
And that's what leads him to help design the very first flat-deck aircraft carriers.
That's right.
These things, they were game changers.
Yeah, total game changer.
Planes taking off and landing at sea.
I mean, that extends the reach and power of navies across the globe.
Globally, yeah.
It's amazing.
It's kind of crazy to think that the same guy who, makes this happen for Britain ends up helping Japan build their own aircraft carriers.
Yeah. I mean, you talk about a twist.
Like a spy novel or something.
Right. Talk about irony. I mean,
Yeah.
This is the guy that helped Britain develop these things, and now he's helping a potential rival.
Exactly. So how does this, decorated war hero, how does he end up working for the Japanese?
Yeah.
Well, after the war, Rutland's career in the Royal Air Force, it kind of hits a snag.
Yeah.
Peacetime bureaucracy, it really wasn't his thing.
Right.
And then there's this whole thing, an affair with a fellow officer's wife.
Oh, wow.
That probably didn't help things.
No, I'm sure that didn't help.
No.
Yeah. Sounds like Rutland was a pretty ambitious guy, maybe a little disillusioned with how his career was, going.
Yeah.
So he does something pretty drastic.
That's that. He walks right up to the Japanese Navy in London and offers his services.
Wow.
Yeah.
Bold move. Oh, absolutely. And the Japanese, they're really looking to, modernize their navy. So, they see this as a golden opportunity,
Right.
so they hire him undercover.
Wow.
They disguise his work as employment with Mitsubishi,
Oh, wow.
big Japanese company. Yeah.
That's crazy.
It's just wild to think about.
This British war hero
Yeah.
secretly helping build up a force that could, one day challenge his own country.
Yeah. It's a decision that's just baffled historians for, forever.
I bet.
What drove him? Was it just ambition?
Right.
Did he need recognition or something? Or was it something deeper? Maybe a real disillusionment with the world after World War I, all that horror.
Yeah, who knows?
Yeah.
Whatever his reasons, his work with the Japanese, it had a big impact.
Oh, yeah.
He helped them design their first large aircraft carriers, the Kaga and the Akagi.
Huh.
These are the ships that play a huge role in the attack on Pearl Harbor.
Yeah. Chilling, isn't it?
It really is.
It really shows how, what one person does can have these huge consequences,
Okay.
sometimes in ways you just can't predict.
Totally. So now, fast forward to the 1930s.
Okay.
Tensions between Japan and the U.S., they're rising, right?
Right.
And the Japanese, they send Rutland to, of all places, Hollywood.
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 That wasn't random, was it?
No, not at all.
Okay.
Remember, Hollywood, it's home to these major aircraft manufacturers, like Lockheed.
Right.
They're making some of the most advanced planes in the world.
Yeah. Cutting edge stuff.
And, Hollywood is Hollywood, right?
Oh, yeah.
Parties,
And glamour.
movie stars,
Powerful people.
powerful people letting loose.
Maybe letting some secret slip.
Yeah, exactly. It was the perfect cover for an intelligence operative.
Perfect cover.
And Rutland, he's in his element,
I bet.
throwing these extravagant parties, rubbing shoulders with like everyone. Charlie Chaplin,
Wow.
Boris Karloff, all while gathering intel on American military technology.
Smooth operator.
Yeah. And this is where that whole Yoko Ono's father thing comes in.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Asakio Ono,
Yeah.
her father.
Right.
He was Rutland's financial handler in Hollywood.
Wow. Small world.
Right.
What a bizarre connection. It makes you wonder about all these hidden networks and relationships that were, shaping things back then.
I know, it's crazy.
History is wild.
It really is. It's stranger than fiction.
It really is.
But, beneath all that glitz and glamour of Hollywood, Rutland was engaged in some serious, serious business. Industrial espionage.
Yeah.
He was tasked with getting blueprints and designs for those advanced American aircraft. Those long-range planes that Lockheed was working on.
Right. Top secret stuff. So how do you even get access to that? I mean, we're talking about a heavily guarded factory, right?
Yeah, so Rutland, he uses his contacts,
Hmm.
comes up with, a pretty ingenious plan. He gets an Irish nationalist installed as, get this, a night janitor at the Lockheed plant.
A night janitor.
A night janitor.
Oh, wow. That's clever.
Right.
I mean, it sounds like a spy film.
I know.
It's such a harmless job, right?
Right.
But think about it. He's got access to America's most sensitive military secrets. Just like that.
Right under their noses.
It really shows you how cunning Rutland was.
Oh, yeah.
And how he could, manipulate people and situations just to get what he wanted.
Yeah, to his advantage, for sure. But as we'll see in the next part of our deep dive, this whole dangerous game of espionage, well, it takes another crazy turn.
Oh, boy.
Yeah, Rutland makes a decision that changes everything.
I can't wait to hear about it.
Okay, so last we left off, Frederick Rutland's, super deep in the world of espionage,
Right.
living that double life in Hollywood, stealing those secrets for Japan.
Yep.
But things that could get even more complicated for him as World War II gets closer and closer.
Yeah, definitely. So it's 1939, things between Japan and the U.S. It's like a powder keg.
Right.
And it's right then that Rutland does something pretty daring.
Yeah.
And also, really perplexing.
Okay, what that?
He goes to U.S. Naval Intelligence
Wow.
and offers to be a double agent.
Whoa, hold on. So this guy's been, spying for Japan for years.
Yeah.
And he just strolls into U.S. intelligence and says, hey, I got all this inside info. Want to work with me?
Pretty much.
What did they even think?
Yeah, you gotta wonder. I mean, it was a huge gamble
Right.
for both Rutland and the Americans. I mean, think about it. He's offering all this knowledge about the Japanese Navy,
Right.
their plans, their strengths, their weaknesses.
Yeah.
But how could they trust him?
Right. I mean, the guy's got a history of deception.
Oh, yeah.
So was this a real attempt to make things right, to undo the damage, or was this just another level of manipulation?
That's the million-dollar question.
Right.
I mean, historians are still debating that today. But, the Americans, they're looking at this threat from Japan. It's getting bigger.
Yeah.
And they can't just ignore Rutland.
Yeah.
He's got too much to offer.
Right.
So they decided to take a chance on him.
Wow.
Yeah.
So now Rutland's in this super dangerous balancing act.
Right.
Feeding intel to the U.S.,
Uh-huh.
but he has to keep up appearances with the Japanese.
Oh, yeah. High stakes.
Super high stakes.
I mean, the fate of nations is on the line.
Yeah. So how long could he even, keep this up?
Well, the answer is not long.
Oh, no.
It's 1941, and tensions between Japan and the U.S. they're at a breaking point.
Yeah.
And in October of that year, Rutland's world just falls apart.
Oh, man. What happened?
He gets a message, looks like it's from his Japanese contacts,
All right.
calling him back to Britain. Urgent meeting, they say,
Okay.
but it's a trap.
A trap.
Yeah. As soon as he gets to England, they arrest him.
Wow.
They take everything, his stuff, his ID, his whole identity.
Oh, wow.
Gone.
So this guy who was, dining with Japanese admirals,
Yeah.
dancing with Hollywood stars, he's a prisoner now.
No trial.
Wow.
Just held under wartime regulations.
So what did they say? Why?
The British government, they said it was because of, quote, hostile association.
Okay.
But, the truth, it's a lot messier than that.
Okay.
Rutland, he had become a problem,
Right.
an embarrassment for both the U.S. and British governments.
Right.
They needed him quiet,
Yeah.
secrets buried.
To avoid a diplomatic disaster.
Exact.
I mean, can you even imagine the betrayal Rutland must have felt
oh, yeah.
after years of putting his life on the line,
Yeah.
playing this crazy, dangerous game.
On the world stage.
And in the end, he's just a pawn.
Sacrificed.
Wow.
For political convenience.
It really shows how, like, ruthless the intelligence world can be.
Oh, yeah.
Loyalty, morality, it all takes a backseat to national security.
That's right.
And in Rutland's case, his former allies, they saw him as expendable.
Yeah. Sadly.
But Rutland, he wasn't giving up without a fight. He starts writing letters to members of parliament.
Okay.
Pleading his case.
Right.
Laying out all the details of his work as a double agent.
Wow.
Even revealing some pretty sensitive information
About
the Japanese Navy's plans.
Oh, wow.
And what they were capable of.
Those letters, they must be like a gold mine for historians.
Oh, they are.
They really give you a look into what Rutland was thinking.
Right.
He paints himself as a patriot,
Right.
saying all his actions, even the questionable ones.
Yeah.
They were all in service to Britain and the Allies.
Okay.
He argued that by, working as a double agent, he gave the U.S. Crucial information to fight back against the Japanese threat.
So what happened? Did anyone listen?
Well, not really.
I don't know.
The British government, they were too afraid of a scandal and all the diplomatic fallout that could come from that.
Yeah.
So they kept Rutland locked up.
Wow.
Story hidden from the public.
So all his knowledge of the Japanese Navy.
Gained through years of, being close to their leaders.
It could have been, like, super helpful to the Allies.
Yeah. Invaluable.
But instead, he's in prison.
Insights wasted.
It's tragic.
It really is.
It makes you think about the decisions made by those in power.
It does.
Did they choose secrecy over national security?
It's possible.
Did they not understand the danger from Japan?
Maybe.
Or did they just, decide to sacrifice one man?
To protect themselves.
Their reputation.
Their agendas.
Their agendas.
It's a good question.
Yeah. It's a reminder that history, it's written by the winners.
Often, yeah.
And the truth, it can get lost in war.
Absolutely.
But even though Rutland's story, it was, like, buried for years.
Yeah.
The impact of what he did, the good and the bad, it can't be erased.
Right.
I mean, to be, like, locked up during the war and know you've got information that could, like, actually help.
Yeah.
It's really tough to think about.
It really shows you, just how complicated this espionage world is.
Yeah.
All those sacrifices people make.
For sure.
In these conflicts.
It really makes you think about national security versus individual rights,
Yeah, yeah.
Was it right to just keep him locked up? No trial?
Yeah.
Just to, like, protect information?
Yeah. Yeah, that's a tough one.
So what happened to Rutland after the war? Did he just, like, disappear?
Kinda, yeah. I mean, he gets out of prison in 1945. War is over.
Okay.
But it's not over for him. He's got to stay quiet about everything.
Oh, wow.
They made him promise to keep his mouth shut about what he did.
Can you imagine a life like that?
Yeah.
All that adventure, all that intrigue, and you can't tell anyone.
Wild, right?
It's so sad. He's basically erased from history all his contributions to, the aircraft carriers.
Yeah.
To Allied intelligence. God. It's like it never happened.
And to make things even worse, he couldn't even, like, profit from his experiences.
What do you mean?
No writing a memoir, no interviews, no way to set the record straight,
Wow.
It's like they just wanted to pretend his life, with all its crazy twists and turns, never happened.
That's awful.
It is.
So much potential, and it all just ends like that.
Yeah, and sadly, it gets even worse.
Oh, no.
Not long after he gets out, Rutland takes his own life.
Oh, man.
I mean, it's heartbreaking.
It is.
But it kind of feels like, I don't know, like the only way this story could end.
Yeah.
All that betrayal, all that disillusionment.
Yeah.
And keeping all those secrets bottled up inside.
Yeah.
Must have been a heavy burden to carry.
Yeah, for sure. We don't even know his last thoughts, right?
I mean, was there a note? We don't know. Never released to the public.
Right.
What was he thinking? Any regrets? It's all a mystery.
So as we wrap up this whole deep dive into Frederick Rutland, I can't help but think, like, what's the takeaway here?
That's a good question. I think for me, it's how the choices of just one person can have these huge ripple effects.
Right.
Like changing things on a global scale.
Yeah, like his work on aircraft carriers.
Exactly. That changed naval warfare forever.
Wow.
And then all his double agent stuff, good intentions or not, it messed with the flow of information during, like, a super important time in history.
It really shows how, like, history isn't just dates and battles.
Yeah.
It's about people, their choices, what happens because of those choices.
Absolutely. And Rutland's story, it's a good reminder that this world of espionage, it's not black and white.
Right.
You don't have clear heroes and villains.
Right.
This guy was driven by so many things. Ambition, yeah, but also patriotism.
Yeah.
Maybe even wanting to redeem himself.
It's complicated.
It is. But it does make you think about loyalty, betrayal, and the tough choices people face when they're in that world of secrets and spies.
It's crazy.
It makes you wonder, could we have a Rutland today?
What do you mean?
In our world, you know,
Yeah.
like digital surveillance, intelligence agencies, all connected, instant communication.
Right.
Could someone live a double life like that now? Stay hidden for so long?
Yeah, would they get caught faster?
Right.
Easier to track them?
Or would they just find new ways to use technology?
To, like, manipulate information, stay ahead of everyone.
Yeah. It's a scary thought.
It is.
And maybe that's Rutland's real legacy.
Okay.
He reminds us that the spy world, it's still full of secrets. The line between truth and lies, it's so thin. And even now, with all our technology, human ambition, betrayal, the desire for secrets, those are still powerful, powerful forces.
Wow. Well, thanks for, coming on this journey with us into the life of Frederick Rutland.
Yeah, of course.
It's a story that really makes you think about history, question people's motives, and really try to understand this world where things are never quite what they seem. Thanks for listening, everyone.